Hello guys, it is Paula here, and we are going to work on making some window pockets. Now, I've seen all kinds of window pockets, but I haven't seen any like these, but that doesn't mean anything. And my reason for doing these window pockets is, well, first of all, to get rid of book pages, but also I printed off, as you can see right here, this whole stack of Rachael with Roxy Creations tags, okay? For some reason, I printed them twice, and so I just went ahead and cut them all out, and I thought I'll have them ready, and then I can go from there. And they have beautiful sceneries on them. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Like, for instance, here, I'll link Rachael below. Like here. And I was like, you know, these tags are so beautiful. Rachael, you did a great job. That why not fix it where we can appreciate them even more? So that is what I set out to do. So I just took my book pages. You know, normally we would do whatever, but I just realized I forgot to put the acetate in that one. How funny is that? But you will want to have some old acetate. Never throw your packaging away. That's what I use it for, is this sort of thing. And I did not decorate these. So we want to decorate them first and then stitch them and put them together, okay? So we're not going to decorate every single one of them because I kind of like how they look. You can add, you can take like a stamped image, for instance. I'm just going to find something here that will work with this floral. There's a lot of different ones in here, but I'm just going to pick this little bird out, for instance. He's a little guy, but you just tear around him, and if you don't want to decorate this page, if you're not going to decorate your pages, you want to watch the language on your book pages, okay? So, and you could just put him like right here or wherever. But you'd want to ink around him first so that he stands out from the book page itself. Now, you can use just about any punch. Not every punch will work for what I did here. But you can see what I'm saying here. You can just, like for instance, this is a little bird here. You could put it over here if you wanted to. You could put some sari silk behind it. You can put whatever. You could take one of your clusters. For instance, I have clusters here. Let's find one that will fit on one of these. I might have some small clusters. I don't know. Let me look. You just have to use your imagination, you know, pretty much. And anytime you have time on your hands and you're just watching television or whatever, I recommend that you do clusters. I mean, that way in this situation you have some ready. But this is a big one. This is a little big, but you get what I'm saying here, okay? So you can do all kinds of things without decorating the outside or collaging the outside. The collaging the outside, you know, they're going to be very pretty if you do that. Okay, so now on we go. What I decided was I wanted this little bird to have he's so precious. Look at him, just looking down there, probably looking at an ant or something to nab. Oh, I did put the plastic in there, but I stitched it wrong is what I did. Or the acetate. I thought I put the acetate. There it is, right there. I just didn't catch it along the way. I can fix that. Okay. These are my examples anyway. These are not my, there you go. You can see the acetate now. I thought I had it in there. So, anyway, as I was saying, you can do different shape. In this one, I did this little wiggly thing. This one, I did a heart, a big heart. That's a big heart. And then I did two little squares because these little birds were kind of up and down. Now, did I measure? Did I plan? No. I just did them, and then I looked to see what I had to fit in them. You could plan out if you had a particular tag you wanted. But look how perfect that turned out, you know, by doing it like I did. And then you have this. Look at this bird. This is one of her tags. I did have to trim it down a little bit because I got it narrow. But, you know, you could do whatever. Now, you're going to have a book page that you want to put this in, and you're going to put these in the corner of your book page or in the center, depending on what you want to do. Or if you want it to be a pocket like this across the page, you can do that as well. You can add lace. You can add anything you want. You could watercolor. You could do whatever you wanted on here. Okay, so let's make a couple. I do not even know. Let's start with this one. It looks like it's been operated on. It's kind of thin. Now, when you zigzag across the top, you always want to do that before you do any other stitching, okay? So that's, we're not going to stitch till the end. But, so I'm just going to take this piece and let's see. Let's decide what kind of pocket we want. I think I'm going to do these little squares again, maybe, or maybe this other one. I don't know. I'm just folding it over like this. Now, there's no rhyme or reason. I'm just kind of making it into a shape, okay? It's not perfect, as you can see. It's not a perfect shape. Now I'm going to open it back up, and then I'm going to decide what I'm going to punch it with. I do like this punch, but because I don't have space on the sides, I can't use it. So the only one I can use on this is the square punch. Now, you can turn it over and line up where you want it, but I'm just going to line it up in the center, just like that. Well, my hands are not very strong. I've done this, I don't know how many times this morning already. Let me get hold of it in a better way. And then I'm going to go like this. Now, if you want to line them up, you need to flip it around at that time and line them up. And you don't know how much space you're going to have between them. It's kind of a guessing game. But usually you get pretty close. See, right there. All right. So what I did is I did like this, and then I just took a no scrap piece of paper. I don't like this yellow rose paper because it's not something I would use. So I'm just kind of putting it in the background. You do not have to cover the background. If you want it like that, that's fine. I thought it, I don't know, I liked it covered. You don't have to cover the background. If you do, it's just another step. Okay, it's just another step that you take. And the nice thing about it is it doesn't have to be perfect. Like anything we do collaging, what's underneath doesn't have to be, you know, out where we can see it. Doesn't have to be perfectly neat. Maybe a little straighter than that. And let's put some glue on the back of this. Again, I'm working in a small space. I know you hear that from everybody. Just make sure you get around the edges, because you know this will grab whatever you put in the pocket if you don't. And then go like this. Just make sure that the windows are what you see. There you go. And I kind of am just folding these over like you would fold over like a coin pocket or whatever, you know, in the back. Now we're going to do our plastic here, or acetate, or whatever it's called. No, it's not called. What is it called? I don't know. I'll get it here in a minute. You know, that's me. I'll remember 1 minute, and the next minute I can't even remember. I just told you guys a few minutes ago what this was. Okay. So I'm just going to trim it. Trim off a piece here. Again, it does not have to be perfect. The main thing is that when you glue it on the inside here, that you make sure that you get the glue all the way around really nicely. Okay, like across here, across the top, across the bottom, and down the sides. Now, before you close your pocket up, you want to make sure any glue from the glue stick has dried, because you know that it will dry. If it's not stuck to something, it's going to dry. It's still going to dry. So I don't worry about how far out I go. I don't worry about any of that. Whoops, a little wrinkle there. You just straighten it out. Now, I'm going to let this one dry a little bit while we move on to the next one. Yeah, see, it's going to be like this. And then we can do our stitching. And if we want to decorate the front, we should have done that first, okay? I hadn't even looked at these to make sure the wording is safe. I tell you to do it. Do what I say, not what I do. Is that what your mothers used to tell us? Do what I say, not what I do. Okay, so now this time, let's fold one in half and let's do this big heart. I really liked the big heart. And one of the things I liked about it was just that it's just big, you know? So I'm just kind of straightening the edges of my paper. I want to make sure, you know, that side's already straight. So I'm just going to straighten that side. Let me get my big punch. This is a giant heart. Look at that. This is a 3-inch heart. Just if anyone wants to know. I'm not worrying about stuff being upright or down, you know, wrong side up or whatever. Now, I just remembered something too I didn't tell you. You do have to have this in separate pieces. So, let me show you. This is just the second one I've made myself. Okay, so you want to cut it into 2 pieces. Okay, so then you can, you know, then you can turn it in the right direction. All right, now, you've got your heart in here. And the reason you can turn it into 2 pieces, you want to cut it into 2 pieces, is so that you can get it in here just like you want it. Now, there you go. There's the heart. Now, it is down low, so you don't have a lot of playroom down here. You can't really, the only thing I could say to you if you wanted more playroom is to add it up like this. You know, add a bigger piece behind it. And we can do that. Let's do that just so you see what I'm talking about. If I can find an extra piece to add behind it. Let's see. Here's one. So we'll just take this bigger one here. We'll trim it down. But, yeah, so that we can move it up, we're going to add a bigger piece behind it here. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim around it. I hope this isn't confusing anybody. And then just trim around it, because we're going to sew it regardless, right? So just trim around it. If you are real picky about how straight your edges are, just get out your trimmer. And I just cut right through that. That's not what I wanted to do. I just did the opposite. Don't do what I said again. Okay, so here we have it. It's low to the bottom. Let's try this one more time. Oh, goodness, Paula. I was concentrating on something else. Okay, so we're going to take this. We're going to bring it up. Okay, going to bring it up. Now, when you stitch, you'll want to make sure you glue this down here. Okay, for sure. Let's do it like that. Let's bring it up like that. Okay. And so then whenever you put it together, it's going to be perfect. Okay, so we'll sew it around here is what I'm saying. Okay, I just messed the other one up pretty bad, didn't I? Okay, so I'm going to put a piece of square underneath so that, especially on video, you guys can make more sense out of it, maybe. Maybe. Listen, there's a lot of trial and error. You know, I just kind of sat down and made these in about 30 minutes. I kind of had it in my head what I wanted to do. And so I just, whoops, come on, hang on. So now we're going to put this underneath. We're going to lay it right here because we want it to, hopefully, our heart will be in the right spot here. No, I got it too high. Let me just flip it around. No, I got it right this time. There we go. Now, again, you're going to have to do something here, like put a strip of something across there or whatever. Now, the next thing we need to do is put our acetate on there. Okay, this one has something on it, I think. Let's see. Yeah, it's not a good piece. Let me get another piece over here. What did I do with it? I just had a big old piece of it. Oh, my goodness, Paula. Let's see. Let me move that out of the way. I've got several stacked over here, so I'm not worried. I'm just kind of looking as I go here. You know, it's real easy for them to just end up wherever. Okay, so there's one. I'm just going to cut it the size I need. Put the extra pieces over here to the side. Kind of trim. This was a little bag, and I'm just trimming the edges off the bag. After we make each of these without covering the book page, we'll if we have time, we'll do some covering the book page. Okay, so now we want to take our book page and flip it over right here. Take your glue stick, go around your heart, get right there in the middle so it sticks on nicely. Put it on there, rub it nicely, and then pick it up, and we're going to put it on here. Right there. Now, when we get all of our stitching done on here, you can see, you know, what we're going to end up with. So I think that turned out cute. Now I'm going to put these together so we don't lose them. Set them to the side, out of the way. And now let's try a different style. Let's take this. And see, we've done the squares and we've done the heart. Let's do this big punch. I don't know what this is called. Just anybody know what this design is called? I don't know. Here it is right here. So I'm going to go right here, and it's going to be, I'm going to push it in as far as I can so I get a, you know, my pocket all the way up, or my hole all the way up as far as I can. Now this is high up, as high up on the pages, or as low down on the page as you can go. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to add a little piece of white behind it so it makes sense to whoever's watching, and to me, who needs it. Who needs it on there, or at least I think I need it on there. And you just kind of make sure when you lay your white paper down, if you're going to put the white on there, that it's going to, you know, be in the right spot. Just like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. That way, when people pull the tag out of the pocket when they have their journal, it'll look cleaner. Do you know what I'm saying? Than if it had a bunch of text on there. That's the reason that I wanted to do that. Okay, now here is our other piece of, looking to see if we have enough for two. It's hard to see with this stuff, you know. Now I'm going to flip it over here. We're going to add our glue stick as close to the edges as we can. Now I imagine you could do this with just about anything. So there we go. Okay. Now you can leave this all shabby on the outside, or you can trim it up where it doesn't take a lot of space in your book. Now, in this instance, I'm just going to even it up, try to even it up on both sides. You know, I feel like a lot of bulkiness ends up in our books, and so I try to avoid that. So there we go, number 3. So let's move on and do another one. Let's do one more with that same sort of punch. But let me see what kind of ones we've done so far. We've done this one. We've done this one. We've done the heart. Let's see. We could do one kind of in a tall situation like this. Let me find, like here I have a single sheet. No, that's going to be way too narrow. We got to have it bigger than that. That is too. So let's just do it with both of these. And then we can cut it down to the size we want. Okay, so if I remember right, this one I did kind of like a, yeah, I turned it this direction. Oh, I know what I did. I took a whole sheet. So like this. Okay, I took a whole sheet. That's what I did. Okay, and I folded it in, just, you know, kind of like this. You have to remember, if you have parts of your book page that cracks or tears and you don't like that, I'll show you in a minute how to take care of that. Now I'm doing this as a tall pocket, so I'm just kind of folding it over like this. Now I am going to trim it down because I don't want it that tall. Okay. And I'm never straight. I never, ever, ever can cut it straight. It's always going to be a little wonky when I do it. Okay, so what did I do wrong? Well, what I did wrong is I have to trim it up as close as I can to that. This is how I did it last time, because I hadn't put my punch in here yet. So here's my fold right here. Here's my other fold right here. So you've got this big section here, and then you just cut a little section here that you will glue onto, okay? And so you're going to go through here as far as you can. And I don't know if I've got this as far as I can. Let me get this out of there. It gets full of these little punches, and then it's kind of hard to get your punch back in there. Okay, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Because I had that folded, it's wanting to complain. So let's go in this direction. It wants my paper to be straight and not folded. There we go. Now, again, this is not going to go very far into your paper. You just have to be kind of creative and hope that you got close enough. Like, see, in this situation, it's going to be over to the side, which is a little different than how I did this one. But if you look, this is wider. So we'll just fold it a little bit more. Now, you're not going to want to fold any more than necessary if you want to get a tag in. You might have to trim a tag down or make a thin tag or a small tag. This is just not coming out as pretty or as centered as I would like, but it will work. Okay. And depending on what it depends on what you're going after. You know, what you want it to look like. Mine was not in the center. I'll trim a little bit off the bottom there. It was not in the center on this one either, if you look. It's kind of an illusion, I guess. Okay, so let me put another piece of some white paper behind it. Let's see. I don't know if I have a piece big enough. Let me see. Yeah, I do. Just barely, though. Just barely. Get your edges real well. Now I'll bring over the piece of acetate here. And this piece is kind of ziggy-zaggy. Let's see. I want to make sure this is big enough. And it is. So you're going to put your glue stick all the way around. And then lay down the acetate. Now, let me get my wipey for my hands. We're going to let these kind of dry before we do it on the sewing machine, because I don't want to make my machine too cranky. Now, drying my hands off here. On this one, I'm not going to glue it yet, but what you'll do is you'll run a strip of glue here and glue it shut right there, and glue it shut across the bottom. And that one is not, I'm not as proud of that one. Probably in this instance, I would probably turn it and do it a different angle. And it's still not perfectly straight. Well, it is straight. It's the punch that's not straight. See, if you look, it's the punch that I got off. And that's okay. All right, so here are our completed ones. Now, let's go ahead and see if we can make some stuff with it closed. Let's decorate the front of this one, and maybe we can do one of the hearts. We'll see. We'll see if we can do a heart. Let me move some of this. I've got stuff everywhere. You guys would not even believe if you could see the mess that I have over on my desk. It is such a mess. Okay, so I'm gonna do, I don't want to do anything that's not colorful, but I love this bunny. Problem is when you're punching, that bunny is not going to work, right? But this pink will. Now, I'm just going to tear and put this pink along the edges of my, and then I can always tear it off. Okay. It's rolling up on me. So I'm just going to put this along the top. I'm doing big sections of paper rather than small sections of paper because I think it'll look nicer when you punch the big pieces out, you know. Like, see, I like this right here, but I don't like it covering up. I don't like it with that pink. So how about we do this? Let's tear this. I think I want the one that has the heart to have all pink stuff. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but I think I do because I'm going to be using a Easter book. I'm going to be doing an Easter book that has roses. What doesn't have roses nowadays, right? I'm telling you, just about everything. It's all about roses nowadays. And here we have some more. I'm just taking this piece of paper and tearing it up and hoping that it will do what I need it to. See, I just want to, yeah, it's doing perfect for this particular one. And we'll let it kind of dry while we do the next one. And then when we punch it, it won't be wet for the punch. You kind of have to save your tools because remember, they're expensive. Save your tools. They're costly. I've got a little area right here that needs something. Let me see if I have some more of the, here's some, I found something. There we go. Tear this out. It's pretty wet. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and trim around this. I like doing these in two parts rather than trying to fold and do them. I think they work. I think it works better. What I mean is, like, you can do part of the pocket, or you can lay the other part on top. It's just easier when you're punching, I think, to do it that way. Now, right now, this doesn't look exciting because you got roses going all different directions. But I bet when you get the heart in here, it's going to look nice. When we punch that heart, right down here is where I'm planning. So let's set this to dry. Now, the next thing is, let's see what else we've got. Maybe we can do the 2 squares on this one. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Let me see what all I got over here on my table. I did say I love this. So let's put it right there on the side. Maybe the punch won't get hold of it. Let's see. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this part off because I want to use it. I want to use the greenery on the other side. Let's see. I don't know if I've got it enough glue on it, so let's add some glue. And then we can just kind of flip it over here and use it on this side. Do you see what I'm doing there? Using it on that side. Okay, now, let's see. Here is some, I'm going to put this over here on this side. I hope you guys can see I'm all over the place. There we go. Put a little bit on here. All right. Let's see what else we've got in here. We can add to the, I like these yellow flowers. Maybe we can add those to the bottom. Right down here. Yeah, there we go on that one. And let's see. I like this brown. It's not really brown. It's kind of khaki color. What looks like a piece of a khaki doily or trim of some sort. If I can get it. It's sticking to my ink. It's sticking to my glue pad here. It's like, I'm not letting you look. What are you talking about? There we go. There's that. And then right here in the middle, it's not going to make that much difference because that is where we're going to punch our squares out when the glue dries. Come out of there. Okay. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to trim around this. Trim all this yuckiness off that we don't need. Okay. Now this one is for this is going to be for the 2 squares. Okay, so we have, what did I do with the other one? There it is. This one's for the heart, and this one's for the squares. Okay, now we want to do this design. So I'm thinking maybe we can do it like a pocket. Or do it like a, let's see. Let me see what we have left to do. We need to do 2 like that, or we'll just do 1 like that. Because we've got a heart, we've got that design. Okay, so we're going to do it like a pocket. So we'll slide it down and it will come right down here. And we're going to cover the front portion. And I think I'm going to put that right there because I like that blue popping out. That little bit of pink. When you do this, you don't have to do a lot of small collaging. You can do big collaging. I think it covers the area better. I think when we started collaging, or at least when I started collaging, I had a tendency to collage smaller pieces. But I don't anymore. I'm trying to make them a little larger because you can end up with just a bunch of little pieces, and it can drive you crazy. And I think it looks better with bigger pieces. That's just me talking. I think it looks better when it's collaged with larger pieces. Okay, here we have some pretty colors. Let's see. Let's do it right up there. I've got where I just kind of look at the colors, look at the direction. There's not a, in my opinion, there's not a wrong or right way to collage. Some people might not agree with that. Like, I probably would not put that over that right there. I just sat there and told you that and then put it right over it. I probably would not put that over. But I am going to reposition it. And that won't hurt anything. I'm sorry if you can hear my fan. It's super hot today. In my craft room, I've got the air conditioner on and it's winter. And I still can't seem to get cooled down. I don't know what the deal is. Okay, here is some of that same paper, but I like it. So I'm going to put it up in this corner. I'm going to trim some of this off now. And trim some of that off along that side. Now we're getting real close to having this one done. I like that. Let's see. I'm thinking putting this little bird down here would be cute. He's so cute. This little robin. Let's see what happens with this little guy. See if he makes it into the punch, or if I missed the punch. I'm trying to kind of put him over here where he has his own little home. A little bit right here at the bottom. And add a little bit of green down there. Now, all right, so I'm going to wipe off my scissors. These are those titanium ones that you're supposed to be able to use with sticky stuff. And so far, I'm impressed. Okay, because we've used some sticky stuff today. Now I'm going to throw this away and move my book. Now, this one is still wet, so obviously we can't use it right now. And I'm going to move some of these little tiny baby things into the trash can, so we have some work area. Okay, now, let me see what I did with the others. Here they are. Now this one we're gonna have to let dry before we do that one. Let's go ahead and do the heart one. I think it should be dry enough. We'll find out. Let's see now, which way do we want to do this? I want this to show more. Let's see, nope, see that will punch that right out. So you just kind of play with it. There we go. It's going to make it a little thicker. You might want to hang on to these little pieces once you've collaged it, because they're kind of, ooh, yeah. I like the way that turned out. Now, I'm going to have a piece to go under it, you know, or I can leave it as is. But I think I'm going to get a piece of paper here. Let me get one. Let me grab one. A collage sheet here. And we can decide how far down. Where'd my scissors go? There they are. I might go down a little bit on this one. Because see, it kind of makes it ripply. And you want it to be as stout as you can get it here, you know. Straight across. Okay, so I'm going to have that right there. And I'm going to trim up and down the sides here so everything's ready to stitch when I'm ready to do it. Now, can't stitch until you have everything put together. There's a lot of little pieces to this puzzle. Okay, so we're done with that. All right. Now, I'm going to hold that while we punch the others. Let's see, put that there. This is the one we just finished. So this was the one we were going to do the 2 squares. Let's see. Let's do the top square first. Kind of put him in the center. Yeah. Flip it over and do the other square. And there we go. See how easy that is? That's just so easy. I love it. Now, we've got this one we can add to a back. We've got this other back we've got here. And again, we just can trim it up to fit the right size. And okay, now while that other one is still drying a little bit, we're going to add some, you know, I've got to have some background. because I don't want it to go through and stick to my my other paper. Let me grab some scrap paper here. Just a moment. I've got to find some. I like to use real old flimsy paper. Okay, so this one's going to be, this looks like some old Christmas paper. That's funny. Okay, so this is going to go right under here, right in the center. Get our glue stick going. This is real thin old Christmas paper. I don't throw anything away. Unfortunately, I think that is a problem to a certain degree. When your room is taken over you and it's mostly scraps, throw something away. Okay, there is that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do the same thing for our heart. Gonna put another back on here. Let's cut out something that looks about the heart size. I hope we're not running out of time. We might have to sew these in the next video if we are. Let me see. Let's see here. Got this in the right spot. No, I didn't. Yeah, I did. I can never remember. Let's see. No, it needs more. I'm going to add some more down there. Oh. It's hard to judge when you're putting the white paper back there. Now, obviously, the best thing would be, the very best thing for you to do would be to not have to piece it like I just did. It would look nicer. And like, see, this is trying to come apart right here. So I'm just going to add some more glue under there to hold that until it gets to the sewing machine. Yeah, see, that's fine because it's only going to be seen when you pull it up out of the... Okay, now the next one is, where did it go? Here's our little bird. How cute is that, right? Now we're going to punch, which one? Oh, okay, this one. Hopefully this is nice and dry. So we're going to punch a window in the upper portion. Right here. Might want to hang on to this one because it's a little decorative. This is lots of fun, you guys. I'm finding that I'm really enjoying this. It's different than anything we've done before. And I like different. Okay, so now I'm going to put some paper behind that. And then I'm going to look and see if we have time to stitch these. If not, we'll stitch them first thing in the next video. Because we're going to continue making a few things in this little series. You didn't know you were in a series, did you? I didn't either. We're calling it a series. This is part 2. I didn't know it was going to end up this whole collaging. I just threw out a bunch of stuff because I needed to get some things made. And I thought, well, I'll turn on the video. And sometimes you just don't know where your creativeness is going to go, right? Okay, we have, let's see, a few minutes left here. I think I'm going to save the sewing for the next video because we have quite a bit to sew. And yeah, I think that would work out pretty good. Now I'm gathering things together here that need to be sewn. These are the ones that we did blank. that need to be sewn. These 3 need to be sewn. I vote that you decorate first and then you do it. So, all right, guys. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you here at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how this got started. All got started with me doing these. Okay? That's how it all got started. And then using Rachael's tags. And this is some other tags here over on this side. But anyway, all right, guys. I'm going to come back in the next video. And I'm going to clean off some of this. We're going to do some stitching and go from there. All right, guys. See you in the next video. Bye.